so my name is Max Gibbons. On Instagram, I go by Max Gibbons Lettering. I have been doing graffiti and street art for about 15 years now. I got started when I was in high school, taking the subway, seeing murals and graffiti and street art, and wondering essentially why people do this, how they do it, and why am I not doing it? So got into graffiti, really interested in the history of tagging, bombing, piecing, everything that goes with that. And then over time, I started to move more towards the street art scene. So thinking about finding legal opportunities to create artwork on walls, during mural jams for businesses, work on canvas as well. And I started to get into calligraffiti specifically. So taking the styles and techniques that I was developing through my graffiti practice, and then starting to mix it with traditional calligraphy and typography techniques. For me, growing up, in a suburban environment in New York, right outside New York City, I didn't know a lot of graffiti writers, so I was actually learning a lot from the internet. But I was able to look at all these different styles and techniques and start to build my own practice, which led to, creating murals that are, 30 feet long, 15 feet high, working with a good amount of different artists, making a lot of friends, and obviously working at Words, Beats, and Life. I think that's super important, and a lot of graffiti writers consider themselves artists or don't consider themselves artists. Some people consider themselves bombers, where they just go out and they're putting work in the street, they're painting on anything, and they don't care necessarily what other people's perception of them or their artwork is. They're just doing it because that's what they want to do, that's what they love, and they want to put their artwork out into the world. It doesn't have to be tied necessarily to creating illicit or illegal work in the streets. It can be, but I don't, of course, encourage any of my students to do any of the illegal artwork. But if they do, if that is their choice, and I think there are lots and lots of artists, many of whom we've talked about today, who have started in illegal artwork, putting their artwork in the streets without permission, that have gone on then to having a legitimate studio practice. Retina, Banksy, Revoke, Keith Haring, Basquiat, you name it, the list goes on and on. Graffiti has been around in the form that we would consider it to be, style writing, rap letters, whatever you want to call it, for almost 50 or 60 years at this point. I don't think it's going away. I think it changes, obviously, because of a vast majority of things, whether it's social media, the rise of surveillance on the streets, and the risks involved with doing illegal graffiti. But I don't think it's going anywhere, and I do think that in Europe, they have it more thought out, where they understand that graffiti can bring artwork to a community. People can do street art tours. They can learn about the artists who live in those communities. I tell my students a lot: graffiti writing and street art is democratizing. It's the most form of putting your message out there, and you're able to say what you want to, and people can put it away or take it away, or leave it up, like I was saying earlier. Make it more accessible, make it less illegal.